This review has been made possible by Chevrolet of Naperville. As you know, Chevy has tons of brand new cars and trucks available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to ChevroletofNaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2004 Ford Thunderbird. Up front is a 3.9 liter V8 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, where I'll be writing a complete article about the Thunderbird. As well as if you'd like to see my videos early, head on over to my Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below. For only $2 a month, you can see all my videos before they're made public on YouTube. Let's get back to that 3.9 liter V8. Now this car is super interesting and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's a 3.9 liter V8. They put a big engine in this thing. I really expected this thing really to be a V6 or something of that sort, but they actually went all out and they put a V8 into it. All right, so like I said, 3.9 liter V8. Struggling for traction, interestingly enough, it doesn't mess around. This is not a sluggish car. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's a 3.9 V8. Why would it be sluggish? Now, what's even more interesting is the fact that it is rear-wheel drive. Again, I thought that it would be a front-wheel drive V6 sort of attempt at the old Thunderbird. But on paper, it's a front-engine V8 rear-wheel drive car. On paper, it makes a lot of sense. It stays true to the form. But let's talk about the rest of it and see if the rest of the car holds up. Then, like I said, it has a 5-speed automatic transmission. Nothing too crazy there. We'll talk about the shifter. It's a little weird. So let's talk about the interior. In front of me, I have 4 gauges. On the far left is coolant. On the center left is tachometer. On the center right is speedometer. And on the far right is fuel. Then down below, you get a little digital readout. This is going to tell you your mileage, gear, and stuff like that. On the steering wheel, you get buttons for cruise control, volume, media, that sort of thing. But the interesting thing about the steering wheel is the fact that it has a Thunderbird on it. The steering wheel does not have the Ford logo. It just has a Thunderbird, which is really interesting to me. To the left, I have light controls, dimmer switches, my power mirror options, and then on the door, I have power windows, power locks. The driver's window is actually one touch down, which is super handy. Then in the center, this is where you really can't escape the fact that this is 2004 Ford. So you have a CD player, you have pretty stock Ford parts bin parts here. It's a Ford radio. Down below that, you do have climate control, which I just had to turn off because climate control, whoever drove this last, set it to 90 degrees. If you really want to burn your passenger out of the car, I guess you can. Then you have a cigarette lighter, which I know a lot of people get on me about this. I know that they're just 12-volt chargers, that cars aren't offered with cigarette lighters, but this one actually does have the cigarette lighter, so in your face. But then next to that is the convertible top options. So this is actually a convertible. Now it's the middle of winter, it's 30 degrees outside, but this is a hard top placed over where the convertible top goes. So this was an option back in the day. You could spec out if you wanted a solid removable roof, you could get that. Yes, this giant piece comes off, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you had just the soft top, you could control it down there. Then you have the passenger airbag on and off and another cigarette lighter for symmetry reasons as well as for your passenger. Then down below your cigarette lighter and convertible top options, you have heated seats with 2 settings. You could do hot or hot depending on your flavor of heat. Then you have the shifter. The shifter is weird, mainly because it goes park, reverse, neutral, drive 5 or drive 4, as well as you could put it over and plus minus at your own discretion. Then you get 2 cup holders and a center armrest. Now there is no back seat, so we won't be doing a back seat review, unfortunately, but that means we can get to it quicker. We could talk about the looks. This thing looks weird. This thing is weird. We'll talk about the interior first since we're closer to it. The interior is red. I mean red, red, red. But I like the 3 different tones. I like it actually a lot better than I thought I would, because there's red at the bottom, which is so vibrant. But then you have this nice metal with lines. It's a very 50s look. It feels like I'm inside a 50s diner. And then you have the black on top. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it was a little ridiculous in pictures, and in video it looks ridiculous. If anyone from Ford is watching this video, I want names. Who okayed this car? Because they either did something really good or really weird. And honestly, I'm leaning towards the good side. I thought I was gonna hate this car. I kind of like it, but let's get back to the looks and I'll expand on that further. The outside of the car looks retro. It was going for the retro look. All the different colors that you could get the Thunderbird in were retro colors. There's this yellow, this bright yellow, or there's a bright blue. And no, the car doesn't have fins, but it kind of looks like the back would have fins. The hardtop has a porthole window, which is interesting. I don't know any other cars that have perfectly circular windows, but this hardtop has that. The headlights look retro. Obviously, the Thunderbird name is retro. The fact that the Thunderbird name is on the back fender is retro. This car was really designed to compete with the PT Cruiser, with the Plymouth Prowler. All of these cars sort of in the early 2000s were venturing towards throwback 50s-ish cars. And so honestly, this is really cool, because the second I saw this on Chevy's website, I knew I had to drive it, because I don't know when another one is going to come up, or one of such low mileage. It says 24,000 miles. So this was owned by someone who really cared about it and maintained it really well. But I was really excited to drive this because you just don't see these every day. And this was such a little niche car that Ford put out for only 2 or 3 years, and then it vanished. And so honestly, I really came into this review wanting to hate it, wanting to just bash this car, wanting to just say, who approved this mishmash of a vehicle? But honestly, would I buy one personally? No, because this isn't my taste. I'm very much a kid who feels like he should have been born in the 80s. I love vaporwave and 80s electronics and Casio keyboards, and obviously I own a 1985 car. So I don't really associate with the 50s, 60s decades all that much. But to someone who would, to someone who feels like they were born in the wrong era, to someone who loves rock and roll and cheeseburgers and the baby boomer era, the post-war America, but someone who doesn't want to keep up with a 60s or 70s Thunderbird, who doesn't want to deal with the issues of carburation, someone who wants seat belts and heated seats, someone who wants a respectable automatic transmission, this is the car for them. And so yeah, is that a really tight market? Yes. Is that the reason why Ford didn't sell a bunch of these? I think so. But honestly, this car has my respect. This was a weird time in automotive history, the early 2000s, because safety features were getting stricter and stricter, and cars really started looking the same. But this car stuck out, and this car still sticks out. Every time I see one in traffic, it always catches my gaze. And so like I said, I would not buy one of these because this isn't my taste. But I understand why people would and why people did. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to give a huge thank you to Chevy of Naperville. They have not only tons and tons of new cars, but used cars. So this is on their used car lot. I will leave a link in the description below for this exact car, so you can check it out yourself. But if this isn't your thing, if this isn't your style, still go check out Chevy of Naperville. They have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of other used cars for sale, and I cannot thank them enough for letting me do this review. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. There goes a sight from my soul.